parents to follow it all the way through. These scouts represent about 6% of the scouts who achieved the rank of Eagle. We are here this afternoon to honor the great achievement. Apologies for that. I would now like to introduce Reverend Zaki of Winston-Salem Church and have him come forward to give the invocation.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Zaki El Zaki, and I grew up as a son and grandson of missionaries who were sent to plant and serve churches in Sudan. And I want to tell you, growing up in Sudan, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I insisted on joining the one Cub Scout pack that we had in the country at that time. One pack. And I insisted to join that pack. The only problem was that it was an English-speaking pack, and I did not speak a word of English. And to be part of that pack, I had to recite the law and the oaths in English. And I want to tell you, at the age of 5, those were the first English sentences that I learned and recited and spoke. So I am very proud of scouting, very proud of the commitment to scouting that all of you share with me and with Winston-Salem Church. I want to tell you that when I came to this great country some 30-some years ago, one of the first things that I did as a pastor was to charter both a pack, oops, oh my God, I'm sorry. Yeah. To charter both a pack and a troop. And I'm wearing today the shirt from that era, sometime, in the maybe mid-90s or so. I'm glad I was able to fit in it. But with this in mind, I want to share with you just a few words before the invocation. A few years ago, some of our bishops visited with Archbishop Desmond Tutu in South Africa. And this is what Archbishop Desmond Tutu told them. He said to them, as an Anglican priest, I learned early on to bow down to the cross out of respect for what God did to embrace us and redeem us as human beings. But then he said, as I grew up in my relationship with God, I learned that every time I see another human being, I need to bow down as well. Because every other human being, Archbishop Desmond Tutu went on to say, is created in the very image and likeness of God. Created by God in the image of God. I want to say to you, friends, that we need to remember more than ever this lesson from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. That deep desire that we all should have to honor and respect the other. Because the other is created by God in the very image and likeness of God. Scouting is many things, but I think at the very core of this great movement that has shaped generations all over the world is that deep desire to respect the other. And may this spirit prevail in us and among us, now and always. Would you please allow me to say a word? Almighty God, we honor you because you have created us, O God, in your own image. And in the words of Isaiah 43, today to celebrate this quote. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Reverend. I'd now like to introduce our Councilman Ian Holzhauer. I believe you have a few words to say. Thank you.
My name is Ian Holzhauer. I'm a city councilman in Naperville. This is such a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the weather couldn't be better, and maybe it's not a coincidence because we are recognizing a group of young men who have left war veterans, people who have gotten hurt in battle. And you look at what a lifetime of service looks like, and it's right here. And this is a group of people who are choosing a lifetime of service. Both of your city council speakers today are veterans, so I was in the Air Force for 7 years. Just like you have values, and I heard the scouting oath, we had core values in the Air Force too. Integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And I always thought integrity is the guiding star for our lives. It's the thing that keeps us going. It's the, when times get really tough and there's a hard decision in front of us, it's the one we fall back on. But I think the one that we're really celebrating today is service before self. And we're so proud of what these young men have done for our community and the lessons that they're taking forward. The final thing that I'll say is life is not perfect. There aren't always sunny, nice days like this. Sometimes there are challenging times. Sometimes things come up unexpectedly. And even earlier, I was noticing as the wind was blowing our flag over, you saw that scouting mentality of coming over, improvising, and taking a lesson that you learned about not tying and fixing it. Kind of reminded me, I was on a camping trip a week or two ago. We didn't really do knots in the Air Force. It started raining, we had a storm, but luckily I had a former Eagle Scout with me, and he tied a tarp over our eating area, and we stayed dry for the entire evening. So I appreciate what all of you do. I'm so honored that you invited me to be here. I regret I'm only going to be able to be here for another 20 minutes, another engagement. But I'm so proud of all you've done. Look at all the people that have come out and out of state. They're very clearly proud of what you have done, and it should be. So thank you, and I'm going to hand it over to Councilman White.
Question, do I need to have the mic for the filming or can I put the mic down? Did you guys hear me? No? No. I'll keep the mic. Well, thank you, Councilman Holzhauer. It really is a pleasure to be here. Congratulations ahead of time for your great accomplishment, the Eagle Scouts. And before I even continue, I know this board a lot of things myself. But in order for you, Eagle Scouts, future Eagle Scouts, to get to the point to where you are right now, it did not happen by accident. And a lot of sacrifice and a lot of help from other people who are in this room, primarily probably your family. So at this point, why don't you all give them all a great big round of applause for the some level of appreciation for them. I will tell you, Ian mentioned that I'm a veteran, 22 years in the Army, and I can tell you without our Army, our military, frankly, is the baddest fighting force this world has ever seen. I'm just gonna tell you that. Fighting force this world has ever seen. We've got the best planes, we have the best ships, we have the Marine Corps, we have an army, tanks, and all those different things. You know, and the ability to take 500,000 soldiers, airmen around the world and have them in place to defend a country in a matter of weeks is actually remarkable. Counterparts about what was the thing that they feared the most, because they actually had more stuff than we did. Like, it wasn't as good, it was more. But the one thing that they feared was our NCOs, non-commissioned officers, because they have the ability to go out and make decisions that can impact any type of operation. And where you see that not happening right now, if you look at listening to the news and what's happening with Ukraine and the Russian army, it's lacking a lot of leadership. And that brings us to where we are right now. All right, because what you all are doing as scouts is about leadership. I define leadership as a process of positive through motivation and personal example. To me, that's what it's all about. Positively influencing. All right, what are you doing that help people go forward? We're trying to influence people, but there's different ways you can influence folks. You can motivate and lead them. You can also motivate them, but you also can use negative influencing type. You know, I can walk around with a big stick and tell you to go do X, Y, and Z, and if you don't do it, I hit you with the big stick. Okay? But that's not a positive way of influencing people. All right? Leading by example, right? Doing things where it takes care of the people that work for you. Listening to ideas, communicating with people. Okay? Those are the types of things that will allow you to positively influence them. And not only that, how about just knowing your job? Knowing your job, being technically proficient at what you do. That means you got to study, you got to work hard and understand that. Who wants to follow someone who doesn't know what they're doing? Right? So that's basically what I wanted to talk to you all about. Leadership, be ready to lead. The things that you've done up to this point requires leadership, and I would ask that you continue to do so. Our country needs it. Our country needs leaders. And I'm so happy for what you've accomplished. I hope that you guys continue to step up to the plate. The future is bright for you. We need you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Councilman Holzhauer and Councilman White. The pathway to Eagle can be described as a steep trail leading up to 3 peaks, the highest being that of Eagle. Officially, the trail starts with the rank of Scout and continues through tenderfoot, second class, first class ranks. Then the mountain climbing begins. The path is marked with merit badges, leadership positions, service projects, and the practice of scouting ideals and skills. The first peak reached is that of Star, the second is Life, and the third and final is Eagle Scout. Do we have scouts here who are ready to read cards? I'd like to invite up Liam, Zander, Scott, William, Joey, Jacob, Tyler, and Nathan. Please come forward and assist in the candlelight. In scouting, as in most activities in life, there are rules. The rules of scouting are found in the 12 points of the Scout Law. As a candle is lit for each point of the Scout Law, let's pay careful attention to the words and rededicate ourselves to the principles contained in those words. A scout is trustworthy. A scout tells the truth, he keeps his promises, honesty is a part of his code of conduct. A scout is loyal. A scout is true to his family, friends, scout leaders, school, nation, and world community. A scout is helpful. A scout is concerned about people. He willingly volunteers to help others without expecting payment or reward. A scout is friendly. A scout is a friend to all. He is a brother to other scouts. He seeks to understand others. He respects those with ideas and customs that are different than his own. A scout is courteous. A scout is polite to everyone, regardless of age or position. He knows that good manners make it easier for people to get along together. A scout is kind. A scout understands there is strength in being gentle. He treats others as he wants to be treated. He does not harm or kill anything without reason. A scout is obedient. A scout follows the rules of his family, school, and troop. He obeys the laws of his community and country. If he thinks these rules and laws are unfair, he tries to have them changed in an orderly manner rather than disobey them. A scout is cheerful. A scout looks for the bright side of life. He cheerfully does tasks that come his way. He tries to make others happy. A scout is thrifty. A scout works to pay his way and to help others. He saves for the future. He protects and conserves natural resources. He carefully uses them. He uses time and property. A scout is brave. A scout can face danger even if he is afraid. He has courage to stand for what he thinks is right, even if others laugh at him or threaten him. A scout is clean. A scout keeps his body and mind fit and clean. He goes around with those who believe in living by those same ideals. He helps keep his home and his community clean. Finally, a scout is reverent. A scout is reverent toward God. He is faithful in his religious duties. He respects the beliefs of others. Thank you. Mr. Dawes, you would come forward to read the Eagle Charter.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carl Dawes. I'm an assistant scoutmaster for 889 and also a fellow Eagle Scout. William, Liam, Jacob, Nathan, Joey, Tyler, and Scott, please remain standing up here. Would all Eagle Scouts in the audience please rise? Good to see fellow Eagle Scouts in the audience this afternoon. The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy. It's the very first point in Scout law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to them, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind you to always live with honor. The second obligation of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. The Scout is true to his family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and fellow Scouts makes him pitch in and carry the shared load. All of these things help develop loyalty, which means devotion to community, to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of the Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a policy by which men imagine themselves and to others. To a scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but determination
to seal your attempt of loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scouts with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. Scout, parents, and guests, please stand. And make the Scout sign. Repeat after me. I affirm allegiance to the three promises of the Scout. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best. Make my training an example. My rank and my influence count strongly. For better scouting. And for better citizenship in my troop. And in my community and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Everyone but Liam, Scott, William, Joey, Jacob, Tyler, and Nathan, by the authority vested in by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you all Eagle Scouts. May the oath you have taken remain engraven in your heart forever. Everyone else, please have a seat. Well, please stay here. Will the parents of Lee, Scott, William, Joey, Jacob, Tyler, and Nathan please come forward? I have the honor and recognizing Liam, Zander, Scott, William, Joey, Jacob, Tyler, and Nathan. This is an important and serious matter. Parents and Scout leaders these 7 Scouts later will guide their Scouts towards through the BSA program. Only today the Eagle Badge. The Boy Scout movement constitutes the most wholesome and significant developments of our day. These Scouts have worked in the troop, school, and community. We found that they have demonstrated this ability in activities that are constructive and worthwhile. We believe that they are qualified for the Eagle rank. That's most importantly is the character of these candidates. These candidates are endeavoring to practice the principles of the Scout oath and law, including integrity and honor. We believe they are qualified as Eagle Scout and continue those conduct in the future. In recognition of your parents and guidance along the Eagle rank, I will ask your mom and dad to assist in pinning the Eagle rank. I will also ask you parents to present the Eagle Scouts by you and your scouting group. No one will ever outnumber the self-sacrifice to your mother. Ask you to present her with a miniature eagle pin. It is customary that you give your mother an eagle kiss.
Okay.
Along the way, it has become customary in our church to present our mothers, Eagle mothers, with a rose. Because along the way to Eagle, it's been your mother who has brought you to rainy scout outings. It's been your mother who stood by you. It's been your mother who's pushed you a little bit to continue on. It's been your mother that has been your biggest fan, your biggest supporter, and sometimes the biggest person who's shouting at you. And thanks for all of that. It's not just a pin we get, but please present this flower to your mother. If I could have all the parents sit, this is time for the scouts to get embarrassed further. Just kidding, we don't embarrass them.
Good afternoon. Those that don't know me, I'm Ouellette. I'm the former Scoutmaster, now Assistant Scoutmaster. One of the hardest challenges to getting these Scouts and Eagles is countless hours of behind-the-scenes work, working on the Eagle binder, on the project proposal, on dotting the I's, crossing the T's. We have a very special person in this group that helps them along this way, and they couldn't have gotten it without it. But Mrs. Susan Moraski, please come forward.
The mentor pin gives the scout a chance to acknowledge an adult or adults who have played an important role in your journey along the trail to Eagle. Scouts, step forward and one at a time. If you have an individual you'd like to present the mentor pin to, you may say a few words about your mentor if you would like. Start with you, William.
First, I'd like to recognize my mentor, Jean Weston. Unfortunately, she was not able to make it today, but I will definitely make sure that I will present this to her. She's done a lot. It's been an honor to have her work with me.
So I'm doing something that's a little bit unorthodox, but I guess, especially with my project, I'm all about unorthodox. I asked my father if I could give my mother a pin, and he said yes. And some of my reasons for that is that even though my father was more involved in scouting than my mother, she was the rock back at home that I needed. And especially during my senior year, when you have college, high school ending, friends are going away, and I had friend problems. So she was the emotional support that kept me together, and I wouldn't be the same person standing here.
would like to recognize Mrs. Mason as my mentor. She's helped me so much through all of this, helping me with merit badges, my Eagle project, making sure I have everything in check. And I'd also like to thank Lucas Mason for being my guinea.
So I'd also like to thank my mother. So really just no matter who she's done for me, just motivating me, bringing me to everything. She just really deserves it. I already gave her a pin, a flower. She deserves another pin. She just really does. So, alrighty, they say mentor pin, but I've got mentor pins. Anyway, so first things first. This man here, he helped me advance through scouting so much all throughout my life. From a Cub Scout to a Boy Scout, even helped me through Eagle. I want to thank my dad first. So come over here, Dad. Alrighty, next. Another person who has advised me all throughout scouting. I would like to have Mr. Ouellette come up here for my second mentor pin. He has always helped me when I was senior patrol leader. He helped me figure out what the heck I was going to do. And even after, when I came to him with questions, he still told me he was fine, even though, because he was always like, ask your SPL or whatever. Alrighty, this last pen goes out to usually you're supposed to give him to an adult, but this he's older than me, it counts. I know this guy all throughout Cub Scouts. He came over to me, he helped me out when I was a Cub Scout. He was a good friend, he's still a good friend all throughout Boy Scouts. Wyatt Draz, is he over here? Where is he? There he is. Come over here, Wyatt. Thank you. Next guy.
So I would like Mr. Dawes to come up here, please. Mr. Dawes has not only been a leader in my Boy Scout troop for the 6 or so years that I've been here, but he's also my den leader in Cub Scouts. So he's someone that I've worked closely with for close to a decade now. So it's someone that I've always been able to go to, and it's just someone who's been helping me in all aspects of scouting.
So maybe I prepared for this too much, I gotta... So if there becomes a problem, nobody has a shepherd's cane, so I'm here for a long time, right? Whew. Get this started. So, Mrs. Draz can be here today, so I'm gonna have Wyatt come up here. I'm gonna address you as Mrs. Draz, Wyatt, I hope you're okay with that. Mrs. Draz was there for me for my very first Central Scout. She was my den leader, and she made scouting fun. And 13 years later, and I was at the finish line with you, helping me with my final marathon. You've always been there for me. Thank you, Wyatt, and thank you, Mrs. Draz, as well. Thank you for that. So I also gave Mrs. Moraski her pin already, but she can stand up. She deserves everything. Mrs. Moraski is an excellent example of how to be a leader. She's always there for the scouts, and she's always ready and willing to help scouts. When I came to the troop, I had 7 weeks left to do my Eagle project. She was determined to help me succeed, even though I had 13 revisions of my Eagle Scout project. Let me say that again. 13 revisions. She is always ready to show service above self. And I don't think I could have done it without her. She guided me through every step of the way, so thank you again. Mr. Parkhurst, I'm going to say it and you can come up here, okay? The long one. When I was 13, Mr. Parkhurst taught me the most important life skill I've ever learned. How to grill in a Wasatch summer camp steak. Since then, he showed me other vital life scout skills like setting things on fire and how to handle complaints about how the steaks are cooked. Most importantly, he was there with me for my moral support when I needed it the most. When I didn't think I could make it to Eagle, he told me it would be the most important thing I've ever done as a scout. Even though Mr. Parkhurst used to hunt dinosaurs as a scout, his advice is timely and relevant today. So. Mr. Bauer, he's somewhere around here. If you see a bald man, please. Oh, there he is.
Bald man, there's about 3 of them here.
Behind the tree. Mr. Bauer, when thinking about who to give a mentor pin to, I didn't have to go much farther than my scout book. When I looked at 80% of the signatures were from you. He taught me how to make fire, how to climb, and sign my kid merit badge. He's always a joy to talk to, and he's always calm, patient, encouraging, and supportive. Other than the one time he dropped me off of the climbing wall off the leg. He caught me, but I still don't think it was accidental. It's a long one. Mr. Campos. I love Mr. Campos, and I can't say it because he groomed me, but he did, as a leader. As a scout and as a man. He turned me into the young man I am today. The leadership advice he gave me was priceless. In the beginning, we all could see eye to eye on my way to be senior patrol leader and how I wanted to run things. But he supported my weird hobbies of collecting really old stereo equipment and my love of 80s music. He suffered greatly after that, though. I taught the scouts to sing John Denver songs and Bohemian Rhapsody, and we listened to all 7 minutes and 34 seconds of the song over and over during car rides, kayak trips, car rides, midnight serenades by the whole troop. Did I mention car rides? And then we added every other singable 70s song we could find. I don't think I can ever apologize for what we did here, but we tried. You were always there for us as a leader by example, in spirit, and in person. Always ready with advice for a gentle show. You taught me how to survive summer camp food by giving me new addiction to Valencia hot sauce, which I still have a bottle of, and chorizo, and putting it on everything. For 7 years, you've helped me guide me to this point. Thank you. I went to the shepherd's thing, but I'm going to leave.
Thank you all. At this time, I'd like to call Councilman White back up. And Councilman Housour. I believe you have a presentation of the order from the city.
I was just doing it as a little transition.
We, from the city of Naperville, the mayor's office, we'd like to recognize this gentleman as well for his, a job well done. I'm going to read one of the certificates. They're all saying the same, but different names, of course, and Ian and myself will pass them out. On behalf of the city of Naperville, I would like to commend you on your attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout. The diligence and effort you have demonstrated to achieve such a prestigious award are certainly indicative of your self-motivation and leadership qualities. Please accept my personal congratulations and recognition for exceptional accomplishment. I am sure the skills that you have acquired during scouting will benefit you for many years to come. Signed, Steve Churchill, Mayor, City of Naperville. And, you know, I kind of hope some of you all stay local. I think you may have some future elected officials standing up here with us right now. So congratulations, gentlemen.
Actually, what's 3?
Jacob? It's probably a 1% probability.
Yeah, we'll do 3.
You got Nathan. Got Joel. And Scott. Congratulations, all. Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Ouellette? Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. This is a rarity. It's rarity. So as I said before, my name is Mr. Ouellette. I am the Assistant Scoutmaster, one of many of Troop 889. As a former Scoutmaster, along with Mr. Miller, Mr. Briese, and our current Scoutmaster, Dave Moraski, we'd like to share a favorite memory of these 70 Eagles before you. We have watched and seen these Scouts go on some incredible journeys. These Scouts you see here have attended numerous summer camps, traversed the Boundary Waters, summited Mount Baldy at Philmont, trekked among the great sequoias at Yosemite, conquered the white water of the New River, sailed and dived in the waters of the Florida Keys and Sea Base, and trekked through the wilderness at Isle Royale. Each of these Scouts have forever left us with incredible moments of memories and achievements, learnings, failures, and successes. We'd like to share a brief memory of each of these Scouts. Some are funny, some are serious, but our intent is not to embarrass any one of them, to show about how these stories tell about their character and how they lived up to the Scout law. Now this is where it gets fun. We're not going to say the name, but when they recognize themselves in the story, we'd like them to take a step forward. This Scout showed me how brave he was when we were at Ed Bryant Scout Reservation at the end of 2020. We were on jet skis, and the camp staff had neglected to put oil in the jet ski I happened to be on. And it caused me to have to went back to camp at Idle. This Scout took a chance at incurring the wrath of the Scoutmaster by using his jet ski to drench the Scoutmaster, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Do we know who this is yet? Yeah. Needless to say, it was an amusing moment for all involved. William, I've seen you do some amazing things. Your passion for film showed in your project and everything you do. Congratulations. When I think of this next Scout, friendly is what strikes me the most. This Scout came to us in high school after his family moved to the area. It is not an easy thing to do to come into a troop without knowing anyone. At this point in middle high school, these Scouts have been together most through Cub Scouts, most through junior high. And this Scout was able to blend because he was so accepted because of his friendly kindness to those around him. There we go. My favorite memory of William was at Camp Long Lake last year as I walked him as patrol leader and guided his patrol, especially those new first-year Scouts with a genuine interest in their well-being, helping them have a great summer camp. William, I've seen you grow into an amazing young adult with genuine respect for all. Congratulations. When I think of the next scout, I think of cheerful. I had the pleasure of accompanying this scout along with three others for an amazing adventure down at Sea Base in 2020. This was in July. The country's in the throes of COVID lockdowns. We had been planning this trip for over a year and a half, and all the things we wanted to do were canceled. This scout maintained an open mind and cheerful attitude, and together with the rest of his crewmates, they made it a week to remember. As we were sailing along, the captain of the ships gave the scouts an opportunity to steer the ship under full sail. This scout reluctantly took the wheel and had a look of sheer terror in his face for about 5 seconds. After that, I saw the biggest smile as he quickly gained the confidence in what he was doing. Anyone? There. Nathan, I will remember you as one of those scouts on the crew that helped make the week one of the most memorable there was. I gotta be honest with you, this next scout was very difficult for me to pinpoint any one memory because next to my own son, I've been on with him in more high adventure summer camps and troop campouts than any other scout. When I first met this scout, it was his first summer camp at Camp Randsburg. He was a bit on the jumpy side, to say the least, with a lot of anxiety that made himself very well known to the leaders from day one, assessing our patrons as leaders. Those first few days were challenging for him, as well as me for a leader. But as camp progressed, he settled down and became adjusted and made it through the camp. As he advanced through his scouting career, he gained incredible skills and confidence. But most importantly, he became trustworthy to his fellow scouts. Last year, this scout served as my SPL at summer camp and did an amazing job. They respected him. They followed him. The memory of seeing Joe leading the troop with confidence and poise reminded me every day of the power of scouting and how it builds the character of these young men. Joe, I watched you go from the anxious young scout, reluctant to explore his capabilities, to a young man who has the confidence to strike out and expand your horizon and not afraid to take chances. Congratulations. The hot sauce did cross my mind. That and the boat flipping. To these 8 scouts, I am proud of each and every one of you and the things you have accomplished, and know that you all going to do great things in life. Will Mr. Miller please come up? I believe he has a scout to talk about the memories.
Well, I'm Mr. Miller. I'm the committee chair for Troop 889 and 1776 here with Wheaton Salem Church. I just want to thank all of you for coming and celebrating these young men and their accomplishments. Mr. Ouellette asked me to speak about one scout in particular, and I'm going to go ahead and name him. And he's a model of consistency and just doing what needs to be done. Jacob, can you step forward? So, I've been racking my brain about a story about Jacob, and I'm like, okay, he's consistent. He perseveres. He went through some struggles this year with sports. His football season got cut short. His wrestling season started late, but was successful at the end. And that's Jacob. But the story, I talked to my son. I was on a film crew with this guy. Consistent. The days he led our group, consistent. That's Jacob. And I asked my son, you spent 11 days with him in a tent. What do you got? He goes, I got nothing. I got something from the wilderness survival camp out. Other than that, I got nothing. And I was getting ready to come over here tonight, and I'm like, I got it. We spent 12 days at filming. Had a great time. We get to the train station in Raton, New Mexico. And Jacob, a model of consistency, left his phone on the bus. And the bus was on its way back to Philmont, an hour away. Mr. Dawes steps in, calls back to Philmont, talks to the transportation people. There happens to be another bus coming the other direction. It's going to Trinidad to Sam's Club. The two buses meet, halfway between Trinidad, or between Raton and the camp. They swap the phone. The phone's brought back to the train station in Raton. I have a video of my son, Jacob, and off in the distance, Mr. Dawes running up the platform. And way down there is the Southwest Chief pulling in. He got his phone back. It's the one time he wasn't consistent. But it's the story I'll never forget here. I just remembered it today, and man, I got a video if you want to see it. It's on my phone. Congratulations. And last but not least, Mr. Moraski.
You may have heard 8 names getting called out, and no, I actually do know how to count. There are only 7 scouts up here. Unfortunately, one of the scouts couldn't be present with us this afternoon due to a prior commitment. And that's really what strikes me the most about this scout. I've been on a couple high adventures with him, and on all of them, he was the first to dig in and help. He is the most helpful person that I can think of in my entire scouting career. Very selfless. He is dug in, whether we were at the Boundary Waters, carrying a 3-person canoe over his shoulders for the first time, seeing the adults do that, and being one of the first scouts to volunteer to try his hand at it, and being successful at it. Being in the backcountry of Yosemite National Park, having an adult leader who got into trouble, being one of the first to open his backpack up and take on gear that wasn't his own to help that adult down the mountainside. I'm talking about Zander Jones, again, as a helpful scout. Today he couldn't be here because he had a previous commitment being helpful to someone else. This next scout is probably one of the bravest scouts that I have ever encountered. And by braver, I mean he decided to run for SPL while his father was scoutmaster. Now, if anybody knows what the SPL has to go through, the abuse they take from the scouts and from the scoutmaster, think of how compounded it is when it's your dad. And I'm not talking about my own son, but can anybody think of who I might be talking about? That's right, Mr. Ouellette. I have several fond memories of you at Boundary Waters, and I have to say, being the first to step in when I may not have been the best fit for both of my sons in the same canoe, being able to step in and help us paddle through the lakes and keep us upright and from intentionally swamping somebody underwater. I'd like to say thank you, Pat. And if everybody is paying attention, by process of elimination, the scout could step forward, but I'm still going to go on as if I'm not going to call his name out. Every time I've run into the scout, and I started out my Cub Scouting longer than I want to mention, but he was still a Cub Scout in the pack that my sons went into. I have never seen the scout without a smile on his face. Cheerful is the first word that comes to mind every time I think of this person. I've run into him several times along his scouting career. When he was recruiting at the Mount Ogun campground for his the troop that he was at the time, whether it was winding rope in the activities they were doing there, running into him at various recruiting events, always with a smile on his face. Today I've seen that smile come through again several times. You know what I'm talking about?
I could guess.
Congratulations to you. All right. I'd like to call up the representatives from the DuPage County Marines Detachment 399. Thank you for your patience in this. We're happy to have you here. They present the Citizenship Award.
Hello, my name is Merrill Burns. I'm the Commandant of Detachment 399 DuPage County Marines. The one thing I wanted to say, this brings back so many memories, because I was born in the city where scouting started, and I was a Boy Scout. So this means a lot to me. see all that. The city is Ottawa, Illinois. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Victoria Cobbett. I'm past Commandant of the DuPage County Marines. Merrill Gilbertus is our current Commandant. He was just elected and sworn in on Tuesday. Congratulations, Merrill. And George is a member of the Eagle Scout Committee. He too is a Marine. He will be presenting the K-Bars. Congratulations on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. We know what it takes to reach out and earn something that very few Americans ever hope to obtain. Something that we will cherish our whole life and that will always set us apart from others. In our youth, all the members of the DuPage County Detachment 399 Marine Corps League traveled down a similar but slightly different path. Ours led us to claim the title of United States Marine, and yours, at this court of honor, the title of Eagle Scout. Like ours, that title will be yours forever. We both wear an emblem with an eagle on it. Yours hangs from a red, white, and blue ribbon, and ours sits upon a globe with an anchor. Both of us wear these eagles proudly as we earned them by hard work, dedication, and determination. Both of us also know that many others came before us who earned their eagle emblems, and there will be many others earning them after we are gone. All of America knows what an Eagle Scout and a United States Marine stands for. The Marine Corps League is the only congressionally chartered Marine-related veterans organization in the United States. The League was originally founded by Marine Corps Commandant John Lejeune, after whom Camp Lejeune in North Carolina is named. It was chartered by the 75th Congress and signed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt on August 4, 1937. The Eagle Scout Award is the highest achievement or rank attainable in the Scouts. Since its inception in 1911, approximately only 4% of Scouts have earned this rank. Among the Marine Corps League's many programs are the youth programs, which include Young Marines, youth physical fitness, scholarship programs to children of Marines and Marine veterans, Toys for Tots, and Boy Scouts of America. The Marine Corps League supports the Boy Scouts of America as they promote traditional family values to America's youth. The League provides support in scouting through different avenues, such as assistance with units, districts, and councils, and community projects, merit badge programs, and special recognition of Eagle Scouts. The Marine Corps truly believes that the youth of today are tomorrow's leaders, and the Marine Corps recognizes the Boy Scouts of America for teaching our young men and women to do their best to God and their country and to be physically fit and morally straight. The Marine Corps acknowledges the achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout because Marines and Eagle Scouts share similar core values, including responsibility, determination, dedication, and leadership. We are pleased to be here with you today as your troop, family, and friends gather to witness your elevation to Eagle Scout and to congratulate you on your accomplishment. The DuPage Marines are honored to present the newest Eagle Scouts with the Marine Corps League Good Citizenship Award. And following that, the K-Bar Night, donated by your parents, will be presented by Mr. George Foreman. I'm going to read one certificate, and then our Commandant will present the certificate to each one of the Scouts individually. The Marine Corps League Good Citizenship Award is presented to, and I'll use Zander's name, Zander Jones, who has attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Signed May 28, 2022, Merrill Albertus and Victoria Cobbett. Congratulations to all of you. We have Liam Briese, William Robinson, Joseph Moraski, Jacob Housour, Scott Kwok, Tyler Ouellette, and Nathan Soderquist. Did I do well with those names? All right.
long time coming. I'm here to tell you a story. You might wonder, why did we hand out a combat knife to the Eagle Scouts? Back around late 1800s, there was a company called Union Cutlery in New York. And they were in the business of primarily straight razors, because that's what gentlemen today shave with. That's why a lot of them had beards. And they had pocket knives, and they had some hunting knives too. Around just about 100 years ago, 1921, 1922 or so, they got a letter from a trapper in Alaska. And in his letter, he was telling about how he got a cat by a bear, brought his rifle up, and all the rifle did was go quick. The only thing he had was his hunting knife from Union Cutlery. He wrote the letter, told him what happened, and in it he said, "I killed the bar." The only thing was, it was a little smudge. And it looked like I K'd a bar. So Union Cutlery looked at that and thought, hey, let's start calling all of our products K-bar. 20 years later, beginning of World War II, Marines at that time had a combat knife that was more like a stiletto. It was about that long. It had a brass knuckle grip on it. And it wasn't very useful because a lot of times their supplies were delivered in wooden crates, and they'd use a stiletto, cut open and break the blade. So the Marines didn't like what they had, the War Department at the time didn't like what they had, and they put out one version of the combat knife. Union Cutlery said, hey, we have this knife you might like. They put some tweaks into it, and they came up with this, right here. I'm taking it out now, so you guys don't take it out later and show the guys, okay? It is very sharp. It has a, I gotta remember how to say this right, a stacked leather washer handle for a good grip. Has a 7-inch blade, plug grooves, of course, and kind of a Bowie knife configuration. And I know a lot of you can't see it. Right here it says USMC stamped on it, which of course stands for Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. Now this knife was first issued to elite fighting units, Exons Raiders, Carlson Raiders, and then eventually all Marines who didn't carry an M1 gear and rifle because that rifle had a bayonet. This knife has been with Marines ever since. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, anywhere Marines have been sent, this knife has been with them. But it hasn't really changed in 80 years. So that's why it's special to Marines, and that's why we run it for these guys. So with that in mind, and to help commemorate this day, I'd like to present this to you guys for the job well done. It's an outstanding job.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to give the, thank you very much. I would like to give the Eagles a brief opportunity to speak about their projects. And here's what we got.
I'm on one right now.
All right, so how do I start this? Okay. So my project was a food drive to support the Kendall County Community Food Pantry. We held that on September 12th at the Salem Church. We collected about about 7 moving boxes full of donated goods, which included canned food and new or used clothing. We did this to help the people that were in need because this was a really hard time because of this pandemic, and a lot of people were not able to afford the food or clothing that they needed.
So, as I alluded to earlier, my project was a little unorthodox. So, there's a documentary about Hesed House. And so for a lot of people who know Hesed House, the first thing they think of is that it's the place that helps homeless people. I didn't put that in the brochure, but admittedly, I want to make a revision. Looking back, I feel like Hesed is really a place that no matter what stage you are in life, whatever your problems are and your needs are at that moment, they're there for you. And especially looking back, if you need counseling, Hesed is there. And they have so many facilities, truly, no matter what stage you're at. And so the video that I created was to kind of help, at least on one end of that, the people that are there. I originally wanted to follow someone who has been touched by Hesed and helped. But of course, that's a very touchy part of someone's life. No one takes a ton of honor in being homeless or having a mental illness. And so I also had to keep a very serious but informative tone in the video. You're covering a point in someone's life that they don't want to remember. Regardless of that, I felt like I helped generate awareness of it, but also volunteers, because it's really the churches that run Hesed House. So it's a little bit about my project.
So my beneficiary was Wrapped in Love. It was a small organization that ran out of her garage. So my goal really was to help her focus on helping others. So I ran a collection drive for clothes for the homeless. We collected about 1 truckload and 2 cars, load of trash bags, all filled with clothes. We filled up her entire garage. So I would just like to thank all the volunteers.
So for my project, I wanted to do something for my local community. So the way that I found my project was actually very interesting. I was on a bike ride one time, and I was looking out, in my neighborhood, and I was thinking about what project I wanted to do. And I came across a field, a local field that in my neighborhood is called the Vermont Cemetery Preserve. And so I thought to myself, I should do something for this because it's local. It's something that I would go to and it would help my community. So I contacted my local forest preserve, the Will County Forest Preserve, and we planted 224 plants in the Vermont Cemetery Preserve on September 12th.
Let's see. My project was for Wheatland Salem Church, the church that charters, that lets our troop meet and helps store all of our goods. So sometimes you just got to do projects for them to help keep the status quo. And so what I did was, in the front of the church, they have this retaining wall that just goes right in front of it. Everyone sees it passing by on 95th Street. And one day I was walking up close to it, and I noticed that it was completely falling apart. So I went to talk to Mr. Mason, and over there, right, yep. And he said that this sounds like a good project to me. So if you can do it, go ahead. And so that's what I did. It was a two-day-long project. I had I think it was 3 yards of gravel delivered to put behind that wall, and I didn't even end up using half of it. So what we did was we had to take down the wall and then put it back up right in front of the church, and it helped the church look better, and it also prevented danger from being in the service road there. And all in all, I think it went out pretty well, and I know a lot of people in this room were there. And just want to say thank you guys for doing that.
All right, so like Joey, my project is also to benefit our Scout organization, Wheatland Salem Church. And I didn't have anything particularly in mind. I was willing to do whatever they needed for help, so I went to them. And their garden committee approached me about replacing the planter boxes that they had for flowers along the patio that they used for decoration, but also as a barrier to people from stepping off this patio. And immediately when they said that, I thought that was a good idea, because pretty much since like the 5 or 6 years I've been going to that church and meetings every week, those planter boxes have been falling apart, rotting, and they look pretty bad. So I immediately thought this is a great chance. And I've also been very prone to building things. I've taken like wood shop classes at school, so I thought this was a perfect project for me. So I took that. It ended up being very expensive, but I just did a lot of donations and was able to build all new planters that look a lot nicer and also are easier for them to service and also keep people safe from falling off that patio or the church.
I actually wrote mine out. Sorry, you were there. So my project was for Hesed House, homeless shelter, and it was a new type of legal project that was different from like more traditional projects. We collected over 70 donated computers and refurbished some of them to give to the families that were transitioning out of the shelter to more like permanent housing. And one even went to a 97-year-old World War II veteran. The project helped kids do their homework and gave more important life skills with computers. And it helped parents work at home and bridge the digital divide in the community between those who have computers at home and those who don't.
Connected to Ouellette.
After the Eagle Scout, the Scouts still have opportunities to earn additional advancement rewards, and those come in the form of Eagle Palms. They can earn a bronze, a silver, and a gold, and they continue to earn those Eagle Palms as they do more merit badges and do more, put in more time with the troop. We'd like to recognize the Scouts who have earned additional Eagle Palms. We'd like to recognize Joseph Moraski for earning 2 bronze, 1 silver, and 1 gold Eagle Palm. Scott Kwok has earned his bronze Eagle Palm. Jacob Housour has earned it. Nathan Soderquist has also earned a bronze Eagle Palm. Liam Briese has already been awarded his gold and his bronze Eagle Palm. has earned 2 bronze, 2 silver, and 2 gold. At this time, we'd also like to award the Eagle certificates in the National Eagle Scout Association card. All right, we're going to hand these out to each one of the scouts. Now, because I don't think any of these scouts could possibly carry anything else, I'd like to say a final congratulations to each one of them, and please join me in a round of applause. You may all take your seats. As parents, as friends, as family, we are incredibly proud of these 8 scouts who have earned the rank of Eagle. As scout leaders, we are reaffirmed in our efforts to help guide these youth on to becoming leaders, to becoming good citizens, and becoming stewards of the environment around us. As fellow Eagle Scouts, we are glad to welcome in each one of these 8 individuals to join our ranks as a fellow Eagle Scout, and we are honored to call them peers. This court of honor will conclude after we retire the colors. Please take some time and look over the tables that have been set up with all of their brag items. These represent almost a decade's worth of scouting, maybe a little more. Pastor Zaki, would you please come forward and give us the benediction?
Yes, sir.
And once we're done, please join us for refreshments, cake in the back.
Before the words of the benediction, let me just say, on behalf of Wheatland Salem Church, that we are very proud of our relationship with this scout troop and all other scout troops and packs that are part of our life. We are truly very proud of scouting, and we are especially very proud of the scout troops and packs that are part of our life and ministry.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, amen. It is, and please allow me to say this, it is a shame that the relationship between church and scout has been questioned during the last, couple of years or so, but not at Wheatland Salem Church. We have made an official resolution at our leadership council to affirm this relationship and to commit to do everything we can to strengthen it. And I want to express my very sincere gratitude to 2 key leaders in the life of Wheatland Salem Church that have acted over the years as a living bridge between church and scouting. And Brother Rick Mason is one of the key leaders of our church. Rick is the chairperson of our board of trustees. And for those of you who do not know, in our polity, the church is organized with the signature of the board of trustees. So Rick Mason and Deb Mason, where is Deb? We are so grateful to Deb and Rick for their leadership, both in the church and in scouting. And with this in mind, I would like to add to the many blessings that our new Eagle Scouts were blessed with today, I want to add one more blessing. So I want to invite Liam, Zander, William, Joseph, Jacob, Scott, Tyler, and Nathan to please stand. And as I share this word of benediction, the word benediction means blessing. I pray from the very bottom of my heart a special blessing upon the life of each and every one of you. So hear this word of blessing. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. May the grace of our Lord Jesus the Christ, may the love of God the Father, and may the partnership, the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be upon you, Liam, Zander, William, Joseph, Jacob, Scott, Tyler, and Nathan, so that you may continue to do your best, to do your duty to God and to this blessed country of ours, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep yourself physically strong, mentally aware, and morally straight. May the grace of our Lord Jesus the Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with each and every one of you, so that you may continue to honor your commitment to be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and relevant. Lord, I pray your special blessing upon each and every one of these, our Eagle Scouts, and upon their families, and upon their communities. Lord, bless this ministry of scouting, that it may continue to shape and bless generations. Amen. Thank you so much.
Will my SPO, Chris Dagisuin, please come up here.
Okay, great.
Before everyone disperses, after flags are retired, I would like for the 7 Eagle Scouts to come back up here because you have requests for photo ops.
What'd you say? After that.
Will the audience please rise? Will the audience please rise for the timing of the photos? Troop attention, color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard hold. Color guard, please prepare to retrieve the colors. Will you please join me in the outdoor pose? As an
American, I'll do my best to our outdoor manners, to be careful of fire, to be considered the outdoors, and be conservation minded.
Color guard, please retrieve the colors. Color guard, please perform the role. Color guard about, face. Color guard retreat. Troop salute. Color guard pose. 2. Audience dismissed, color guard dismissed.